Alex, you ever been to a shopping mall?
I have been to many shopping malls. Not recently, though.
Not recently?
No.
Did you ever see a kid walking along? You know, it looks like a nice kid, probably dressed up a little bit. Maybe got a polo by Ralph Lauren. You got some OP shorts. And all of a sudden, looks like he's wearing some Vans, but then all of a sudden he just starts gliding across the floor.
Yeah, with the the skate shoes.
Yeah. Do you remember?
Roller shoes?
You remember what they were called?
No, I don't.
They were called Heelys.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, so these shoes, Heelys, they had a kind of a skateboard wheel in the heel, and there was a way that you could activate that wheel to come out, and then you kind of like stood on your heels, you balanced on your heels, and you could skate on them. And then when you weren't skating, the wheel would go back up into a recessed area, and you could walk on them, just like regular shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those. I remember this certain type of person. You didn't rock those, did you?
You know what's really funny is someone gave me a pair of those as an adult for my birthday. Yes, so I had a pair of Heelys for a little while.
How old were you?
Oh gosh, I mean this is probably 20 years ago. So I was in my 30s.
Still older than you should have been.
Yes, and they weren't easy. The Heelys were not easy. They were definitely you had to practice, and because you couldn't just like have your feet right next to each other and lean on your heels because you'd kind of be off balance and fall backwards. You had to put one leg kind of out in front of the other in kind of a stretching, track star kind of way, and then lift your toes up so that the heels would make contact with the ground. They were pretty hard to do.
It took a skill, but I bet you if you were a skater, they were awesome.
Yeah. And I think they were definitely something that a lot of kids, I think the impact of seeing someone do it and do it well made a lot of kids want to try it.
Yeah, I can picture the kid right now.
Yeah, going through the mall, just like going right past you. Well, they were invented by a guy named Roger Adams in the late 1990s. He was in California.
Late 1990s.
Yeah.
Wow.
These were an early 2000s thing, the Heelys.
Okay.
He was in California on vacation, actually, watching people skating, biking, walking. And he thought, wow, it'd be kind of cool if I could combine walking and skating. Now, he was a skating enthusiast. I don't know if Roger Adams was a skateboard enthusiast or a roller skating or a rollerblading enthusiast, but it said skating enthusiast.
Okay.
And by the way, did I mention he was a clinical psychologist?
No. You're an enthusiast of sorts, right? You'd call you maybe a drone enthusiast.
Yeah. Well, no, I actually get paid to fly a drone sometimes. So
enthusiast. Does that mean amateur?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I guess you can be an enthusiast and still be a pro because you're still enthusiastic. But I think when you get paid to do it, you take it to another level. You're a professional. I'm a professional drone pilot.
I thought enthusiast is the old timey word for what we would now call like a nerd. Like you know what I mean? Like you're just really, really into something.
Yeah, but does that necessarily make you nerdy? I mean,
no, not nerdy. That's just what we call people that are really into something now. I'm a science nerd, or I'm a sports nerd.
Okay. Sports enthusiast, sports nerd. Yeah, I could see where that's. Well, he was a skating enthusiast, lifelong skating enthusiast, and after he decided to do this, he took a pair of tennis shoes, he took a urethane wheel, and he kind of carved it out and put a little rod or axle in it and put the wheel in it, and actually started to test it, realized it was kind of cool once you learned how to do it. And the big thing was he patented the design. So that was the thing, was this patented design to be able to remove the wheel or put the wheel in. Now, I don't remember if the wheel was always there and it slid up into a compartment, or if it was something that you actually pulled out, when you weren't, you kept them in your pocket or something. Do you remember that?
I don't think you kept them in your pocket. I always pictured guy like doing a kind of a tap move with the heel or the toe and having them pop out, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
being
that's what
able
I
to like,
remember too.
yeah, doing kind of a move where you would kind of almost run when you stopped it. It's almost you go into a little run.
Yeah, and then you go on your heels and they would pop out and you would just skate
Mm-hmm.
along. Yeah, yeah,
But
that's
I would think it would be more dangerous, like having the wheel walking and having the wheel come out would be way worse than
yeah. All of a
yeah.
sudden, and you just do the cartoon banana peel. Woo!
Yeah, and you'd think over time when the spring gave out that could happen.
Yeah, yeah, it could. I mean, I don't think I don't think many people kept their Heelys for, they were sort of a little bit of a disposable shoe, maybe. Well, so this guy Roger Adams founded a company called well, originally it was called Healing Sports Limited, and that's Heeling, Healing
Mm-hmm.
Sports Limited, and then that became Healing or Heelys Inc. in 2000. So he had figured out how to make this thing. He patented the invention. He found a manufacturer. He
I
started
think
to
the
demo
heel
it.
of the toe, I mean, the heel of the foot was how you got them out. I think that's why they
Yeah,
were
that
called
sounds right.
Heelys.
That sounds right. And they
You
were in the
tap your
back of the
heel.
shoe too.
Yeah, you tap the heel and then they would come out. Yeah, yeah.
So they really took off between. You remember the years these were big? Can you?
Apparently not. I would have said the early 90s.
No, 2004 to 2007 is when the
Wow.
Heelys were big.
Okay.
It was sort of a, that's kind of when maybe, X Games were coming out, street
Mm.
culture, action sports. They kind of had this skater edge to them. And so between 2004 and 2007, they were very popular. Heelys Inc. went public in 2006, right at the peak of their craze, and they just went crazy. The company Heelys made 44 million in sales, net sales in 2005, and then in 2006 that number tripled, 120 million dollars in sales in 2000.
Probably in certain parts of the country more than others, right? Seems like a real California thing.
Yeah, yeah, but I think everybody, I mean, a lot of fashion starts on the coast, right? It kind of
Right.
starts in California or New York and kind of moves towards the center of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, the whole idea of somebody rolling around indoors in a crowded area without a helmet on, that could be a little dangerous,
Oh,
don't
but
you
they
think?
love that. That's what they live for, though. Those skater guys, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, there were a lot of injuries that happened. There were wrists, there were arms, there were elbows, a lot
That's
of
not surprising, man.
orthopedic injuries happening, fractures. It's interesting because the shoes almost made you walk a little differently too.
Oh yeah. So
They
maybe
like,
giving knee problems and
yeah. There were kind of ancillary injuries.
especially if you're 35 wearing those like you, Kelly.
Yes. Yeah. I did wear them a number of times and had some fun with them, but I never got really good at them. This led to kind of a cultural pushback. It was called the Heelys ban. So basically, there were signs all over public buildings, schools, shopping malls, airports, those kind of places, hospitals that said no Heelys. And at the time, people knew what they were. If you saw that today, you might be like, what? Right?
I honestly don't remember that word Heelys.
You don't remember the name
No.
Heelys, huh? Heelys.
No, I don't. I remember the shoes. I just don't remember that name at all.
And they weren't bad looking shoes. I don't think they were super comfortable, but they kind of looked like a pair of Vans or something like
Okay.
that, as I recall. They weren't necessarily the black and white stripes, but just, I want to say they actually weren't slip on either. You had to have them laced up because they had to be tight enough around your foot that when you went into your Heely go position, it would allow you to kind of feel like they were on your feet.
Okay.
So now it was not something you ever gave your son.
No.
No?
Well, he was born around that time. That would have been really irresponsible.
I mean, I think there were some kids, some younger, not born, 0 or 1 years old, but I think there were some kids in their, 5, 6, 7 years old that were rocking Heelys.
Yeah. No, when he was younger, the shoes that lit up was all the rage.
Yeah, and so interesting enough, those were called LA Lights, and they were part of a collaboration with LA Gear that came later. The lighted shoes.
That was the big thing. Did your kids have those?
Oh yeah. My kids had some shoes that lit up, and we kind of liked them because they were easy to spot. You could pick them out of a crowd, or if they were out in the dark, you could see them pretty easily.
Sure.
So the weird thing, and sometimes we do a little controversial stuff here on Dirt Nap City when it comes to things like dead ends, and the controversy here is that they're actually not dead. Heelys still exist, but the company was bought by a company called BBC International. Now, have you heard of BBC International?
No.
So has nothing to do with the British Broadcasting Corporation.
Okay.
It is a shoe brand, a global footwear company. They probably own Kinney's at some point. They're
Sure.
this big, but they own major lifestyle brands like Polo, Champion, Tommy Hilfiger, K-Swiss, New Balance, and they have these entertainment licensing agreements with Marvel, Universal, Nickelodeon. So they're able to put a lot of big brands or big name superheroes and stuff like that under their shoes. And they are actually the company, this BBC International. They're the ones that came out with the LA Lights.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, our boy Roger, after he founded it, Roger Adams, he sold it, and even after having had a year where he made where the company, made a net sale of over $120 million, he ended up selling it for $11 million to this BBC International. Because it was a rocket ride, right? It was a big thing that took off, and then people saw people getting injured. They were annoyed by it. They kind of burned out on it, and so he had to sell. They couldn't keep up that pace. They had expanded all their marketing and all their manufacturing to a point where everybody who had bought a pair of Heelys at that point already had them. They weren't going to buy more.
But it seems like the kind of thing that every 25 years ago you could, or every 25 years or so, you could reintroduce and maybe make them a little safer. Because it seems like every new generation would kind of be into that.
So actually, funny you should say that. There was a guy named Bob Campbell. He's the guy who originally came up with LA Lights, and he was an executive at BBC International, this company that bought them. He did do that. He came out with the X2, which were two-wheeled models. So instead of one wheel in the heel, it had two wheels, and it was easier to do. And it actually has become, instead of a cultural fad, the X2 and what formerly was known as Heelys are now more what we call a niche toy footwear. That's a thing.
Would you ever want them for transportation?
I think if I lived at the top of a hill, I would. If I lived at the bottom of a hill, no.
Well, so you'd walk up and glide down. So
no. I would glide down and then Uber back up.
Oh,
that would be my way.
Yeah.
So
yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting because they really aren't considered athletic equipment. They really aren't considered shoes. While some people might think they're a cool mashup of things, they're kind of the worst of both worlds.
Right, yeah, exactly. They're uncomfortable as shoes.
Yeah, and they're not great skates. If you want to skates, just buy some skates. Yeah.
Yeah, so they really are for tricks, like and just bothering people at the mall.
Yeah.
Since malls don't really exist anymore.
Yeah. Where do you go? Right? Do you ride them at the airport? No, they've been banned. The Great Heely ban.
Yeah, campuses is the only place left.
I was actually, it's funny you say that. I was at the UT campus recently, and so many kids on scooters, skateboards, e-bikes.
Right. Oh yeah.
And by skateboard, I even mean electric skateboards. Right? Nobody rides things that are just foot powered or pedal powered anymore.
No. We've all gotten lazy, man.
What did you think of riding an e-bike?
Well, I have a complicated relationship, as you know, with bicycles.
Yes.
Because I'm built. I'm all torso.
Yeah.
Very short legs. So bikes aren't really made for me typically. So
Yeah.
it's tough. So any kind of bike is bad for me.
Well, if I got you a pair of Heelys for Christmas, would you try them?
I don't think so. I think
Hell to the no.
Yeah, I think it seems fun. Like if you once you can master it, it seems like a blast.
Yeah. But mastering it would kill you.
Yeah, I remember when rollerblades came out. We got ourselves a pair of those and went down to Galveston to the seawall to try them out. And it was actually pretty frightening. I thought, because it makes it look so easy on TV. When you see people rollerblading. I wanted to be, rollerblading on the beach, sound like fun. And it was terrifying.
Well, I think you skipped a step in that process, right? I mean, you buy the rollerblade, step one. Step two, you go to an empty parking lot,
right?
And you practice, and you practice, and you use some walking sticks or some ski poles or something to keep yourself balanced. You wear lots of pads, and then after months and months of that, you go to the seawall and you take your shirt off and you put on your banana hammock and you just rollerblade on down.
Yeah, like it's the beginning of Three's Company.
Let's do it. Well. That's Heelys. I feel like they were something that was definitely a flash in the pan. They still exist, but I do think that a good dead end can be something that had a huge popularity and then kind of went away, even if it still exists.
Like drinking fountains or synthesizers.
They're still around. Yeah.
Sure.
Sliding past the food court, joking on tile. Parents roll their eyes, but we're living in style. Security says, slow it down, no way. Rules were made for someone else, not today. We're rolling, rebels on wheels. Breeze, grand